Okay, so I was originally going to have the dog today, and I was going to wait and record this like Friday, but plans have changed. I don't have a dog to watch, so I'm going to do this today instead. Um, so I want to have a bit of a chat about Pathfinder, since I've been playing a lot more of it recently. What with the complete destruction of my trust in Wizards of the Coast, I have put my focus into something else. Not that I'm not still running D&D, I'm still running a game, but I'm no longer putting my full attention on it like I was for a while. There for a while, here's what you need to understand with me, right? When I don't do things halfway. I've never been one to do things halfway. Once I am set that I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. And I go full bore. And for a very long time, I ran D&D, and that's what I did. That was my thing within the group. I ran the D&D games. You wanted a different name, you went to someone else. Because I ran D&D, that's what I did. It's what I was good at, it's what I was comfortable with. But of late, while I still run D&D games, everyone knows I'm not focused on that anymore. 100%. And I'm playing in a Pathfinder game now, every other week. It alternates. So I'll run D&D game one week, and then I play in the Pathfinder game another week. I'm not running two games, but I'm involved in two games now, which I was never involved in more than one thing at a time, which I could have never done a year ago because I was all in on doing this every week, boom, 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 and on making sure my D&D games were the best they could be, the best I could do, and I still want to make them as good as I can. But now I'm kind of like, because they all know I'm not buying any more books. I don't care about Big B's Glory to Giants or whatever the fuck. But here's the thing. I love playing Pathfinder. I don't know that I could run it, but I love playing Pathfinder now. Because here's the thing. Pathfinder actually gives a fuck to balance its shit. Like, there's a very clear, like, you fight this at this level, you fight this at this level. There's a very clear ladder that you climb in Pathfinder. I've put it this way to people before. D&D is an experience, Pathfinder is a game. And yes, there's a meta, but there's not really multi-classing in Pathfinder, which I've always found annoying in D&D. And even though I've allowed it, because why would I restrict the players like that? I can work around it. I just don't particularly like the fact that you almost, especially in 5th edition, you almost have to get a good build, to make a good build, quote unquote. But in Pathfinder, that's not really a thing. Pathfinder also has more classes and hasn't quite gone the subclass route, which I think, to be honest, the subclass thing works, but I do think D&D needs a couple more classes to really fill out everything. D&D needs a psionicist or a psychic or something, and probably at least one other class that I'm not thinking of. But hell, that's me just spitballing. Um, Pathfinder only had the one world. I think that's an advantage that Pathfinder has. It only has Galarian. It only has that one world, which means it can focus on building that world. Which, on one hand, makes it difficult if you want to build your own world in Pathfinder, because you sort of have to edit out half of the blurb for every monster. But At the same time, it has this element of let's make life easier for people. You know? It feels like on one hand it would be an adjustment to run Pathfinder, but on the other hand it would be so much easier. So much less homebrew is required on Pathfinder. Now, I'm used to D&D. I've been running D&D for long enough that I've got a system that works. And I'm not going to stop running D&D entirely. Because at that point, I already have all the books and I've homebrewed so much shit for it. In my mind, at this point, it's a time sink thing. I have sunk too much time and effort into making D&D something I can work with, into learning this system, learning how to work with it, to just abandon it, throwing the baby out with the bathwater. Also, I am now attached to this thing of this is my world, let's make my own world, and that's much easier with D&D. It is. At least for me, it seemed like it'd be easier with D&D. Though, admittedly, I've been stealing Pathfinder monsters for several years now and homebrewing them into D&D. So, take that for what it is, but that is what I've been doing. I also have been very open about the fact that I'm not buying any more D&D books. I'm not. But I am buying a lot of Pathfinder books these days. I put that money into Pathfinder and into anything else that has like a fantasy feel that I can steal their monster manuals, basically, that I can homebrew into D&D. And into third party. I've started buying a lot of Cobalt Press monsters as well. Because, yes, that's fun. Cobalt Press is good. Put some money into them. Because whatever they're going to do is going to be akin to Pathfinder, I think. And it's going to be good. Also, whatever Critical Role is doing, whatever their new system is going to be, throw some money at that too, because give that a shot. Because there's no guarantee that's going to be good, but you know, my thing now is we need to make a point to Wizards of the Coast. They are not the only game in town. They aren't the biggest dick swinging anymore. And that you need to start acting right or you ain't going to exist much longer. I guarantee you that if they try to swing their dick again, everyone will just jump. The people who have stayed on that ship are going to jump. Because even the people who stayed on that ship are still willing to give you benefit of the doubt that it was a bad decision, that you've learned from it, are ready to jump at the slightest sign you're going to try again. And you won't get a third chance, I guarantee you. And my mindset is, we need to make sure they never get in their head they can pull that shit again. Because if they do it, it'll be the death of D&D. Because Hasbro never going to let the license go. That's what you need to realize. Hasbro will never let the license go. They will kill it before they let the license go. They'll put the axe to it. They will kill production on anything D&D. And that whole franchise will die. D&D will die before they give out the license to it. That's the problem. I'd rather have D&D with a company I can't trust than no D&D. Personally. Because there are still things that if they straighten themselves out, and actually make a system that I want to support, I will still go and buy their shit. Like, if they release a really good Dark Sun book, that would convince me. That I would buy. But it has to be a really good Dark Sun book. Otherwise, I'm not interested. That's just what it is. As for Pathfinder, at the moment, I'm playing a fighter because I've been a DM so long on the rare game I get to play, I don't want to have to think too much. And while I could play something more complicated like a wizard, I don't care about that. I DM every other week. When I'm playing, I want as little to think about as possible. Basically. I don't want to be the face of the party. I want to be the guy who hits shit with his sword. And makes some stupid jokes occasionally. And occasionally say a stupid one-liner as I cut someone's head off. As I kill people. Because why not? That's funny to me, okay? Leave me alone. Everyone who knows me knows that I find shit like that hilarious. And I'm having fun with it. And that's all that matters to me. I don't do this for any particular love of the specific thing. I do it to hang out with friends and we're having fun, so who the fuck cares? And no, I'm never going to record games. I'm never going to do that. The second you do that, I think you kind of put a certain pressure on it. And I don't want that. Because I don't think my games hold up anywhere near to what people put out. And there's no point. Although that would require me to live stream, and I refuse to start streaming on Twitch. Twitch is gone to shit, and I'm done with it. Yeah. I'm done. Ta-ta.